Okay, so we have completed the
Brace, vertical brace.
yes, modeling. Yeah, modeling topic is now completed. So we will move on to our next topic now, that is um, connections. Connections. So normally, what happens when in company, if you are working in a company, so after
Yeah.
modeling is completed, they will also start applying the connections. So that is a standard practice, you can say. You can say that is a standard practice all across the industry or all the other companies. I will pause for some time. Just one.
किती झालं सिलेक्शन
दोन तास.
जेवण घ्यायचं ना कधी पण कलेक्शन चालू करतात
Just pausing for a moment. Are you able to hear me? Hello? Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start the topics so that you will understand where we are on this today's lecture, where we are standing. Sorry. Okay, so here you can see now we have completed list of items, that is great, completed member placing. We have seen all this member placing, and then now we are here, connections. Okay, so today we will start with these connections. Okay, so this is just a basic chart to explain you about the connection. Okay, so you can see here connection category is given here, and first item is detail in that, and this is the method of selection for applying this type of connection. This is a type, okay, type of connection, and to apply this type of connection, what is called as detail, we need one main part, and this is the input. Okay, input required for Tekla. So what is the input is main part, one, and one point.
One main point.
Okay, so that way we will apply this detail. And then next is connection. Okay, so in connection category, we also have a item name connection. So this connection, what is this connection is? So when there is one main part and one or more secondary parts. Okay. For
Okay.
example, beam to column connection. So we call it as a connection. Beam to column. If beam is getting connected to a column. If
Yeah.
bracing is getting connected to the column. So one main part, one secondary part. When bracing
Oh.
is there, maybe you have seen bracing connections. When bracing is there, there are chances of 2 or 3 bracing connecting to a single member. Okay, that is also called as a connection. So that will fall under this category. That is more than one or more single secondary parts. So one will be beam to column, and if there are more than one means that is bracing connection. There are 2 secondary
Mm.
parts or 3 secondary parts. So more secondary parts. Okay. So that we call it as connection. So when one main part, one secondary part, or more than one secondary part. Secondary parts can be more than one, or it can be one. Understood?
Yes, understood.
Okay. Then next is seam. Third one is seam. Seam is just like connection only. You'll see same like connection only. But
Mm.
at the end, you will see there are 2 points required. Now, this point are for locking. Okay, locking the member. So locking the connection. Okay, locking the connection in some place so that it will not move here and there from if there is some if work point is not in the proper order, then your connection will move here and there. So to lock that
Okay.
connection, you need to apply 2 points. So that comes under the seam condition. So for example, splice connection. Okay, in splice connection, what happens? Beam is running in a straight line, and there will be one spot where you have to give a connection, plates. So beam is complete, and then in between we are giving the plates to connect the 2 members. Okay. Say beam
Okay.
is 22-meter long. So at 12-meter we will need a splice connection. So seam, example of seam is beam splice. Okay, splice means bolted splice connection. So splice connection, splice.
Uh,
Are you aware of that splice?
Spice, I don't
When
know.
there are say when member is more than the manufacturing length, that is 12 meter, generally 12 meter. You might be aware
12
already of
meters.
that. Yeah, 12 meter is our standard length. If your member
Standard.
in the structure where
Mm.
you are having a structure, there's say your beam is 20 meters. So we will have to give a splice. Okay. So that
Okay.
to connect the 2 manufacturing lengths. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why we need this seam. Seam will be for connecting 2 members which are in straight line.
Okay.
Okay. Normally this connection will be for one is column is like this, beam is connecting like this, perpendicular connection.
Okay.
Bracing also comes in some angle. Okay. It will come in
Yes.
some angle, but beam will be perpendicular. So it is connection, the beam is connecting at some point. Intersection is there. No? But when I have a splice connection, there is no intersection. No?
Oh.
So that's why your connection will go here and there. So if you're using this seam, then it will be in that locked in the place where you need exactly. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the use of seam. We are using it in beam splice or column splice. Then we have part where we are using 2 points. Now, below here are the example of different this thing, detail connection. What examples are there? It is given here now. You can see base plate connection, stiffener connection. Those are the example of detail. So in base plate,
Okay.
there is one column and we have to provide one point. In stiffener connection also, there will be one beam or it will be one column, and then you have to provide one point. So your stiffener will be locked in that position. Okay, so point is for locking the position of that connection. Okay. Did you got my point? Now, example of connection is end plate connection, pin plate, clip angle connection.
fine.
So these are all some, these are some connection types which are given here. So these are some types of connection. Now this is example of seam or beam splice, column splice connection where member is running in one line. So there is no intersection. So that time we need this seam. Okay. Now this is the example of part. Part is like stair. It is a complete assembly of different members. Okay. Now generally connection will be like it will be a plate, bolt, and weld. Okay. Combination of plate, bolt, and weld.
What?
These three things. Connections will be combination of these three things. But part, no, part what happened in part, it can be a main part, secondary part, all combination will be there in this. Part can be a framed member. Okay, it can be a frame. For example, truss is there. So
Okay.
truss is the example of part. Okay, where different main part, secondary part, all are welded together to form an assembly, or all are joined together in a connection to form a connection. So that connection is called part. Okay, that type of connection is called part. Okay, any built-up member is there where you are having, like in the PB, we are using some pre-engineered buildings are there. No? There we are using combination of plates, flange plate, web plate, and bottom flange plate. So section will be a built-up section. Yeah, normal standard section won't be there in pre-engineered buildings. Like you see in the railway shades are there, shade. If you visit any railway station, you'll be having a shade there. So in that shade, you will find that there will not be a standard connections, standard members used. There will be non-standard. So it will be like built-up sections. We call them as a built-up sections, and those are also example of part. So that is a union of different members together. Okay. Then here it is showing us now connection symbol, how the connection symbol looks like. So this is how the connection symbol will look like. It is like a cone. Okay, cone, and it is green in color normally. When you apply it, it will be green in color. So if green is there, then it is okay. If it is yellow is there, then connection with minor clash will be there, or some error will be there. Clash or error, minor error will be there. So that's why it will be yellow. Yeah, it will be yellow, and red will be connection not possible. So that particular location, that particular connection will not be possible to apply. Okay. So that time your this symbol will be red. So you'll always find these three kind of symbols will be there when you are modeling. So you must be aware that what symbol, what is the meaning of that symbol. So this will explain you how what is the meaning of the symbol. Okay. This means okay. Yellow means minor clash, and red means connection is not possible. Understood?
Yes, understood.
This is just the introduction part, and now we'll go to our particular part. Now here, for applying a connection, you can see there will be a tab here on the right hand side. There will be a tab. This is a tab. So when we are clicking here, you'll see application and components is there. So component is nothing but the connections. Application will be plugins. There will be some plugins will be there, and application means components means that will be connections. So where you will find the connection is in steel engineering. When I go in steel, you will see there are different categories are there: beam to beam connection, beam to column connection. So here are some categories are there. You see, you can see no
Yes.
beam with sweetener, bend plate, clip angle. So this is most commonly used connection is clip angle. Normally we use this in US jobs. Okay, US. When you are working on a
Yes.
US standard, you will have this kind of connections, clip angle. Normally in India, we will not prefer these angles for connection. We'll be having plated connection, shear tab, or end plate kind of connection like this. In Indian standard, you'll have this kind of connection or either this kind of connection in Indian standard. But in US, you will find commonly they are using this kind of connection, clip angle or bend plate. Okay, there are few more connections are there, different welding, round tube, and all those things. Seating, shear plate, simple shear plate. 140. This is also a commonly used connection. Shear plate, simple. Then here there is also clip angle, two-sided. The one we saw that is one-sided. One-sided means one beam, one column. Okay, that means one-sided connection. So one beam, one column, one beam. So one beam is getting connected to one column. Now two-sided, what happens in two-sided? There will be one column and beams are two connecting. So that time we need this special kind of connection that is two-sided. Why we require this kind of connection? If you if you will have a question that we already have this connection, why we are not applying this for two-sided? So this is not possible for the two-sided ones. Because once I apply this for one beam, another beam if I apply and say that beam is connecting like this to each other. So what will happen? This is separate, this is separate. This bolt is separate, this bolt is separate. So what will happen? These bolts will clash. Bolts will clash. This bolt from this connection will clash with bolt from this connection. Okay. If I am having two connections, then. So that is the reason we will have to apply this two-sided connection. So there will be a common bolt for this kind of connection. Okay, you understood why we have this two-sided? Similarly, end plate is also two-sided. You will see end plate. End plate also is having two-sided connection like this. So same condition will appear here also, because here there will be a one plate, here there will be one plate, and there will be a common bolt. But if you are giving separate connection here, separate connection here, then bolt will clash. This connection bolt will clash with the other beam. Okay. So that is the reason we have common. This is common connection for common bolts. Okay. So normally these two connections are there for the common bolt feature. Okay. Now there is beam to column connection. Now you will see here, this is general, like beam to beam connection is there, but in beam to beam also you can see there is column is also there. So why this column is there? is because you can apply this on both beam and column. Okay, both conditions are can be applied. You can use it for both the options, beam also, beam to beam also, and beam to column also. Okay, so that is the reason it is listed in the beam to beam connection, and it is shown like column. So both conditions is possible. Now, when I go to this one, beam to column connection, you will see here there is also column connection and then beam is getting connected here. Now, this is also common connection, so you can apply it for beam and column both. Okay, both can be applied. But then some special condition is there, like this extended stiffener is there, like column with stiffener. Moment connection. So this kind of connection, maybe it will not work for beam. So it is specifically for column condition only. Okay, some condition will work for only column to beam. Some condition will be for beam to beam and column to beam, both. Okay,
Okay.
both condition you can use, and somewhere only one condition you can use that connection. Now we'll go to the bracing connection. We'll have a look at the bracing. What are the different kind of bracings available here? Condition connections. So most commonly used is bolted gusset, which you are seeing here. Okay. What happened? Hmm. Okay, so you can see most commonly used is 11. So number is 11. Bolted gusset. You can write it down in your notepad or something. These numbers, these are very important. Numbers are very important. So I'll just start with the first one. So I will just provide you with the numbers. That is clip angle 141. So you can write it down, these numbers. And end plate 144. Why I am giving you this number is when you type here those numbers, you will automatically arrive at this. So you don't need to search in detail. Okay. So that is the reason you will be searching with these numbers. Okay, these numbers will be it will be easy for you to find this connection with these numbers. So please write it down, these numbers. Clip angle 141. End plate is 144. Okay, this you can try out for different conditions, but not commonly used for common condition is not there. So some special cases are there where we are using this kind of connection. This is also special cases. This is commonly used two-sided. We can use it commonly for the two-sided connections. So write it down. Two-sided clip angle is 143 and two-sided end plate is 142. Then finished. Did you write it down?
No, no, that.
Let me know when you are done.
Any sir? What?
Please tell me when you are completed writing this number. When you complete writing this number, just let me know. Did you note?
Sorry, I don't. Sorry, sir. What is it?
Did you note this number in your notepad?
Oh, okay.
Write it down. Just write.
Okay.
Two-sided clip angle 143 and two-sided end plate is 142. Just write these numbers and the name. This is just for practice purpose. Once you start using Tekla more frequently, you will automatically recall these numbers. Okay, you will get used to it, and you don't need to remember that time. So more you practice these connections, you will remember it easily. But for starting, you will just write it down so that later you can apply. When you're applying it in model, you will have to know the number, which number is there. Now again, one more common is there, that is, this is already done. 44. Now we'll go with the bracing. Common bracing connection is 11. That is bolted gusset number 11. Is commonly used. For all cases, this will be used for angle, then T section. Also, this can be used for double angles. Okay, back to back angle. Do you know about that? Double angle or back to back angles?
Belong.
Like this one.
Yes, sir.
You might be knowing this one. No?
Okay.
Oh, so for this condition also we are using bolted gusset 11. Okay, this condition, double angle. We will call it as a double angle. Here when we are saying a double angle or back to back. Now this back is facing to each other. Okay, their backs are facing to each other. That's why we call it as a back to back angle. Okay. So bolted gusset 11 number is for all these cases. WT, angle, single, then T connection, and then this is for double angle. Okay. So we have to apply this connection, bolted gusset 11 number. Then when I scroll down, there are a few more connections are there, you will see. But we are not using commonly. This is not commonly used. So I will just show you which are commonly used, connections which are normally used. Oh, there will be 160 number is there. That. Lovely. 60. So this is also one common connection we are using. Wrap around gusset cross. Okay.
Okay.
This is commonly we are using this connection. Wrap around gusset cross. Okay. Then when I go in the detail here, it is a detail. You can see. Now detail you will see mostly base plate will be there. Almost all connections are base plate type, and only one you will find that is a multiple stiffener. So when I when I had shown you the connection categories, that time some examples I had shown. Some example we saw here. So first was detail. This we already saw right now. Now we are seeing this one, detail, base plate connection, stiffener connection. So base plate and stiffener will be that. So stiffener is also a kind of detail. That's why it is in there in detail category. You can see detail. So this is the category which I just explained you. So stiffener is there, base plate is there, and many other connections are also there. But this basically commonly we are using. Okay. Stiffener, US base plate. Then we'll have a 1042 base plate and 1004. So you can try these connections. There are different uses of these different connections. There are like this is the simple base plate connection. This is also simple base plate connection, but there is a shear key option here. Some part is there, no? So there is some special condition is there for this. So when I go further, so when I go further here, I'll find stiffener is there and base plate also will find 1047. So this 4 different kind of connections will be using for base plate, or 3 US 1042 and 1004. 3 conditions are there. So commonly we'll be using this 1047, 1042 and 1004. Most commonly you will use this one for base plate. Now for US base plate 1047, usually there are stiffeners are there. Stiffeners are there, no? Stiffeners. So this is special for that special case for adding stiffeners. Okay, so this is especially for if there is in your base plate, if there are stiffeners are there in your design, then you can use this one. If there is no stiffener, then you can use either this or this. You can use any one. Okay, if stiffener is there, then you can go for this one. Okay. So that was detail. Then there are few more other categories. Now what we saw was just a basic categories we saw. Here we saw just the basic categories 1, 2, 3 and 4. But there are few more categories are also there, like offshore, subcategories are there. But the basic category will remain same. This will remain same for all. Okay. This is the selection method. This is based on your selection method or the number of part, the selection method of selecting the part. So this condition is as per that selection method which we are using in Tekla. So this will be 4 types, basically same for all the connections. So basic types will be same. And here you will find some more categories are there. So according to the different case or different use, you will find different connections will be there. Like PV is there. So in PV, you will be having this kind of connections. I don't know if you have seen this kind of structure. This normally will be there in the railways. If you visit any railway station or some place like that, you will see this kind of sections. Now, this is not a standard section. This is a non-standard. This is a plate. This is a plate, and there is a bottom plate. Okay. So this is called PEB, pre-engineered building. Okay. So PEB is like we are welding something and we are creating a
Oh.
section out of that weld. So pre-engineered means welded. Okay, something is
Welded.
welded section. So all the welded sections we are telling them as PEB, or all the welded sections will come under the PEB category. You'll see here all those are welded sections are there. And the one we are using for normally construction, those are hot rolled. Okay, hot rolled means those are manufactured directly from some company. Some like, for example, Jindal is there. Okay, Gale Steel is there. So these are like they are manufacturing. They are producing that kind of sections, cross sections. But this you will not find in the market. This PEB you will not find in the market. So for PEB, we have to prepare a different kind of section in workshop. So this is done in workshop. Like this plate is cut,
Yeah.
and this plate is cut, this plate is cut, and then you will weld it together. So this is totally done in shop. So that's why we call it as PEB, pre-engineered
Yeah.
building. So this is in shop, done in shop, fabrication shop. Then we have splice connection. So you can see splice is like if there is a big member, like it is more than 12 meters member is there, then we are providing this kind of connection. Okay, to connect that big member, or if you want to split some member here, say beam is continuously going here and we need some connection here, like we want this in two parts. Okay, so that time we will use these connections, splice. Mostly splice will be used for columns. Okay, so normally you will see that columns will be running 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters towers will be there, different high-rise towers will be there. So there you will be using splice connection for columns. It is not possible to use a complete column up to that length. Okay, so that's why we'll be using a splice connection to join two columns. Okay, splice connection will be used for joining the two members. Also, this splice will be using for the truss sections. In truss also you will see there are very long members are there in truss. So those will be crossing your 12-meter barrier. So there also we have to use this connection. This kind of connections will be used in the truss. Are you aware of that truss?
What is that?
Truss. Are you aware of truss?
Yes, sir.
Truss.
Truss.
Truss will be like welded. Different members are welded together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you might be already aware of that. So we are using splice for truss also. Then we have this another category, that is stairs, railings, handrails. Railing means handrails. So these are some macros are there. So this connection is part. Okay, this is part. Stair, railing. This is from part. So category for this is part. Okay. Example,
Part.
stair ladder. Yeah, part.
Okay.
Why part? Because there will be 2 points will be there. You have to provide 2 points, and then this all components